Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and just want to show you 3 junk journals that I made over the last couple of days. While one was drying, I worked on another one, I did a step and then, so forth. Quicker that way, and my room is warm, so things gets dried quickly in here. So, these are 5x7 canvases that I picked up at Ross's a couple years ago. They were in a pack of 10. And the back covers are chipboard that it was back of a 12x12 paper pad that was pretty much finished. The papers were, no longer in the pad. So I cut that. There are similar items on each of these canvases, but you can tell they're all different. This one I used the backs of the napkins. When you pull them apart, you get the pretty napkin and then you get the white backing. I used the white backing for that. I glued them on with Mod Podge. I did 2 layers of that, and then I did a layer of gesso, and then I did a layer of yellow craft paint, and then I laid a stencil down on here that fit perfectly on this canvas. And I used Illusion sprays in Squeeze Orange and Pure Sunshine. And then after that dried, I did a technique that I saw Aaron over at Imperfect Impulses do on a journal page a while back, and it was really cool. He used distressed crackle paint with a palette knife through a stencil, and it turned out really cool. Before I did this, I tried it on an ATC, and it turned out really cool. And mine is really old. That I had 2 bottles of the Picket Fence. In the first bottle, this one was brand new, but the first one was like halfway empty, and it was gotten really thick, so it was perfect for this. And I also have it in brush pewter, and I did try that. To find it. Hopefully you can see. I should have used a different stencil, but you can see little cracks in there. And I also had it in Vintage Photo, and that was the first crackle paint I ever had, and it completely dried up. I mean, I think I got it when the crackle paint first came out. I went to unscrew it, and the brush part of this part still stayed in the bottle, and the top just came off. So I tossed that. So back to this. I took a stencil, laid it on top of the canvas board, and then I took the crackle paint, my other jar, and a palette knife, and just spread it like you would texture paste or molding paste or bead gel. And you take the stencil off and you let it dry. And one thing I do have to say, you have to make sure your stencil is clean, because especially with the white, because you get leftover color comes off of the stencil onto the paste. As you can see here, I got some of the blue and some black or whatever on here. But the crackle on here turned out really cool. And plus with the white, because I used Illusion sprays before, those sprays came up through the through the white, so that was really cool too. So after that dried, while that was drying, I took these wooden dolls from Julie Nutting. I have the whole set of 5, and I used 3 of them for the journal, and I used a couple of them on 2 journal pages that I'm not done yet. But anyway, I painted them. This one I used denim craft paint and neon orange craft paint for a shirt and her headband, and a yellow. And then for her shoes I used black, and then I used American Craft Silver 10 marker for that, and I used the gold for the bows on the kite, and I painted the kite. And then After that dried, all of them, I used glossy accents to glue the wood pieces to the canvas. I tried using the Aleene's Tacky, but even with the clamps, I tried to clamp it down and it was coming up. So I used glossy accents, and then I took, because I did these two at the same time, well, I put them on at the same time, so I took the two and put them on my windowsill and put a bunch of books on top of it so it can stay without popping up, because it was popping up even with the glossy accents. So anyway, so that's that one. I'll get through the inside in a second. This one's my favorite. I used doilies for this that I had in my stash, and then I did a layer of gesso. And again, I glued the doilies with Mod Podge. And I used gesso, and then I used 2 delusion displays, a Calypso teal and bubblegum pink. And you get all kinds of purples and blues and all that. I like how it mixed. And then again, I used the stretched crackle with the Wow Studio confetti stencil, confetti circle stencil. And you get that, and the blue colors are coming up through. And then I did some splatters in black craft paint and white. You can't really see the white, but you see the black a little bit more. And then for her, I painted her again with the coral for the skin tone, same as this one. I painted the skin tone coral. And then I used neon blue for her for her pants, and the neon pink for her headband and hair, and black shoes and silver accents on her shoes. And then purple for her bag, and the handle I also did in silver marker. And then for the banners, I used a magenta craft paint from Blix, or acrylic paint from Blix, and then again the silver for the top. And that's that one. And I edged all of them with black craft paint. Now this one gave me fits. I used napkins for this. I used the decorative part of the napkin. And then I used gesso. And then I used, I forget what color, no, I did black craft paint on here. And then I tried to do the ghosting technique. I used the stencil, sprayed it with, I think, cherry pie delusion spray. Let it dry, and then I did a layer of white gesso. It was smearing. I didn't like it because before I did the white gesso, I did spray it a couple of times with spray paint, hairspray, so I can not do that, not smear, and it smeared anyway. And I was like mad, so I wiped that off. Did another layer of gesso. It was coming back up. It was fine. I was happy with it. Then I started playing around. I used the pewter distress crackle paint with a stencil that I cut out with my Cameo. I wasn't liking it. I was trying to save it. I did drips with the FW acrylic inks. And I did some other stuff trying to save it. I didn't like it. So I covered everything with black craft paint. I did 2 layers of black craft paint. And then I did the crackle medium in the distress crackle. Decided to go with the black and white and red theme because she's red. Her I painted way before I decided to do these. So I used the confetti hearts crackle with the picket fence crackle paint, and I liked how it crackled. And you can see some of the red from the cherry pie from layers and layers and layers coming through still. So that was really cool. And then her, I think I used buttermilk craft paint for her skin tone. So she was the first one I did. and I figured it was way too light, so then I went with the coral with the rest of them. And then for her dress, I used red craft paint, and then I decided she needed to be sparkly, so I used stickles for her dress and her bow, which is also the same color as her dress, and black hair. And again, I glued her on with glossy accents. So now the pages. I use all my scraps from my my scrapbook paper box, and I also used Hanson mixed media paper that I was using for Journal 52, which I gave up a long time ago. So I took some of those papers in there and put them in these journals. So this is a Prima card in the chalkboard. I forget the line. Some 6x6 paper, and you can tell the scraps from my scrapbook are all different sizes. Some book paper and some travel brochures. Some stuff I got in Happy Mail, and then I made pockets. And I got playing cards and Prima cards and tags from Say Cheese 2. I made these kind of pockets. I made regular pockets. I mean, the inside cover is a pocket as well. This one I just put in the middle. More cards and tags and stuff that I had in my stash. I want to use up vellum, word search dictionary, packaging from the Julie 9 tags. This is Bo Bunny, scraps, tags and pockets. You get the idea. This is from the Say Cheese 2 collection, the paper clips. So that's that one. Pocket here. Pocket, I didn't add anything to here. And I'm going kind of fast. I don't want my battery to die yet. So you get the idea once in here. That one and then this one. Just fun stuff. Maps. I had this big poster of of the world map, and when I moved, or before I moved, I cut it to different sizes so I can make envelopes or whatever. I haven't made an envelope with the maps yet, but I used some of them in here. So that's that. So after those three were done, I went back and added some pockets to these journals because I didn't have any. And these journals I made a few years ago, and I did put them up on my Zibbit site way back then, and they never sold, and time ran out, so I never put them back up because they never sold and I was moving. So I'm going to put these up again. I took pictures of them, at least the covers. So I added tabs to this one a while back. And then I added some tip-ins and pockets in these. I didn't do tip-ins in that one. I thought of the tip-ins when I was doing these. And then this one's a belly band. This one I cut the paper out of here, the record out of the paper, and then glued the end. And this one has dictionary paper, vellum, scrapbook paper, word searches, book paper, catalog. Because I made these a long time ago. Calendars. And this paper's in here. This paper is, I think, Strathmore mixed media paper or watercolor. Don't remember. Printed paper. And then the pocket. And this one I did 2 tip-ins on the pocket. And a tip-in here. I like the Bowl Bunny ones, but the holes are all it's only on one side, and you have to use the tip-in, make a tip-in on this side of the book, and not the other side, which I wanted to do. This is how did this. I like how that came out. I think that's a pocket, but I think I glued it completely shut. More maps. This is another belly band right here. Envelope. Pocket. Pocket. This is a pocket. This was a, old paper, not old, but paper bag that everybody got back in the day, a few years ago. And then that one. There's nothing in here either. So that's all. This was 8x10 canvas board. So I added when I made this, I put a paper bag in here, and then I added a pocket. Added a little pocket here. First, glue down. Fix that. Tip-ins, pockets. These are little bigger pockets. This is a transparency from Teresa Collins. I think it's the travel one that I had like a long time, but I like how it looks with the back with the scrapbook paper. More pockets. This one's kind of hard to show. And I did take some pages out of each of these older ones because it had a lot. It has a lot of paper in here, and one has, I forget how many this has, but one has smaller ones. One has 50, and I think one has 40 pages in here. This one has the full bag. You can see that. Tip-in. Collaborate. This one has a tip-in on this side and a tip-in on this side. Yep. And then that one. And I forget how many this one has. So these have, I already took pictures of these, and I just have to get guts enough to put these up. And I gotta take pictures of the other ones, and I also made some cards I'm gonna put up on my Zibbit shop if I get the guts to do that. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching.